AI models that are used for surveillance,
Mhm.
that are used to emotionally manipulate people. Even some of these general purpose generative AI models, in some cases, are classified as high risk.
I'm wondering if you have thoughts about what the role of AI would be in executive decision making for those tough decisions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that generative AI models are trained on text on the internet. That's
Hmm.
all. And so they come across as being incredibly smart and having a huge, deep well of knowledge. But what they really lack is experience. They haven't experienced talking to the rank and file of a particular business or understanding the ins and outs of a particular product line or supply chain. So
Yeah.
they're just extremely good at mimicry. So CEOs can absolutely try and augment their decision making by using these things, or any
Mhm.
kind of business leader can. But I feel like that's potentially a little bit of a trap that you can fall into, particularly if you over rely on it, in the same way that people might over rely on consultants, which are often
Yes.
overpriced. But there has to be a real balance, as you were bringing up before, a balance between, just using surface level knowledge gleaned off the internet by a large language model and your own experience of just talking to people and understanding the ins and outs of your business to make those key decisions.
What changes do you believe are necessary to ensure responsible, I guess for lack of a better word, responsible AI advancement?
Well, the good news is we do have regulation coming from the
Hmm.
European Union. We have the AI Act. It is extremely broad in scope, and some would say it's too broad. Some say it's too vague. But you know what? I think it's great that we have something. We
Sure.
have some kind
Yeah.
of policy trying to address the issue. There are standards bodies who are currently working on trying to specify what the do's and don'ts are for companies that use AI. But
Hmm.
really, the main thrust of it is to make sure that AI technology isn't misused. And so the law categorizes AI into certain, it classifies it in various levels of risk. You have high risk, kind of medium risk, and low risk. And at the top, with high risk, you have AI models that are used for surveillance,
Hmm.
that are used to emotionally manipulate people. Even some of these general purpose generative AI models, in some cases, are classified as high risk. And so it means that companies have to really just watch how their models are used or misused and potentially pay penalties if they're not, if they don't have proper guardrails in place.
So as we think about sort of some regulations coming into place, how do you envision the sort of the ongoing AI race impacting society over the next decade? And I think, particularly concerning areas like employment, privacy, which you mentioned, and
Yeah.
this concentration of technological power.
Yes. So, first of all, I think for us public, regular people, AI is going to impact all of us one way or another in all sorts of different ways. I think we're certainly going to see job displacement. We're
Mhm.
already seeing companies who are making cutbacks where they can in areas like marketing or customer service or sales or writing. I work as a writer, so I see myself as vulnerable in all of
Yeah.
this. And it's early days, but I think, when a company can increase its margins and they don't get too much reputational blowback for doing so, just because they're not hiring more people, they're going to continue to do that. If these models can do work that is seemingly as good as a human. I think that particularly affects young people because the companies that are using generative AI the most, particularly in white collar jobs, are using it to automate entry level positions, the
Mhm.
work that college graduates would take on when they first join a hedge fund or an investment banking firm or a legal firm. So this is things like the role of a junior analyst and writing up
Mhm.
research reports and for a portfolio manager or doing due diligence. That's the kind of thing that AI can do. So when it comes to jobs, I'm most concerned about young people entering the workforce. I think it's going to also affect young people in terms of and maybe older people as well in terms of an erosion of human connection. Now that sounds a little bit abstract and fluffy, but there's been a real rise in AI companionship apps,
Mhm.
which I find really intriguing. There are millions of people who talk to AI chatbots as a friend or a therapist or even as a romantic partner, and those numbers are only increasing. And yeah, I mean, those are two trends that I'm looking at.